afternoon. It's great just to quiet a room just by walking up to the front. It never happens to me. Nicole Hedrick is out ill today. Just want to let you know I'm welcoming everyone on behalf of Human Resources and the Engage Brigade. And more importantly, I want to welcome everyone to a very special day. Thank you so much for making the time to be here with us this morning. We have a great program, and I never should ever forget to thank Gina Streety, who heads up our diversity and inclusion efforts in all our events at the DCRI, for pulling this together and making it such a great experience that I know it will be. So thank you, Gina, for doing this today. So Tawana McCoy is going to introduce the first part of our program. We have some musical entertainment that will be presented by members of our DCRI team. And then I will come back and introduce our very distinguished guest speaker for today. So welcome, and on with the show. Tawana, thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Good afternoon. I have the pleasure of introducing our musical introduction today and providing that introduction. So without any further ado, I would like to give you a backdrop of our introduction for our musical performance. Marion Jones Richmond is a DCRI analyst programmer with the Outcomes Group. She celebrated her 20th anniversary with the DCRI last year. She's a graduate of North Carolina Central University, go Eagle, Eagle Pride, with a degree in business administration. Outside of her personal career, Marion loves to exercise her God-given talents of singing, designing, and decorating. Once retired, she plans to expand her abundant living, design and decorating business where she can convert dreams into reality. Joining Marion on keyboard is Victor Moore, a building contractor in the facilities group. He is a pianist, organist, composer, and arranger with a Bachelor of Arts in Music from North Carolina Central University. He has played hundreds of performances in the U.S. and abroad, including Monterey and Venn jazz festivals. The two will perform in tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a song recorded by gospel and R&B singer B.B. Winans called I Have a Dream. Additionally, Martin Watson will be providing voiceovers throughout the selection. Without any further ado, I introduce to you Marion Jones Richmond and Victor Moore.
Testing.
50 years ago,
50 years ago,
a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand
a
today.
great American signed and proclaimed, the emancipation that bore the beacon light of hope. Plenty of slaves who had been seared called Negro. A frame of injustice, and now 100 years have passed. And now today we must face the true and tragic fact. The Negro is still not free, and though impossible it seems, but I have a dream. The Constitution reads and gives a promise that all men be guaranteed. Pursuit of happiness, right of life and liberty. A check of independence cashed and decreed. But it is obvious America's at fault. Fought on his promises, gave citizens of all. And now we must demand our right to be free. 'Cause I have a dream. I have a dream that one day black boys and black girls will join hands white boys and girls, and we'll stand sisters and brothers.
I still have a dream.
Yes, I have a dream that one day mountains and hills be made low, and all the world is told crooked been made straight. Ooh, till his glory is seen. I have a dream
It would be fatal for the nation
to overlook the urgency.
of the moment.
It would be fatal to deny equality. The autumn of freedom, the year of 1963.
1963 is not an end,
But a beginning of
but a
the
beginning.
end of what will be. But there is something I must say to my people who stand on the threshold into the palace where we go. Must not be guilty of violence and wrong deeds, 'cause I have a dream.
I have a dream.
Hey, I have a dream that one day
This nation will rise up,
this nation will
live out the true
rise
meaning
up
of its
and
creed.
see the truth of its creed, and equal all men will be. Said I have a dream that one day with a new meaning we will sing. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Ooh, freedom will ring, 'cause I have a dream.
And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Tennessee, of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
I have a dream that one day black boys and black girls will join hands, white boys and girls, and we'll stand sisters and brothers. Yes, I have a dream that one day mountains and hills be made low, and all the world is told crooked been made straight. Ooh, till his glory is seen, I have a dream. Freedom will ring.
Let freedom ring.
'Cause I have a dream. Oh, though impossible it seems. I have a dream.
The sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
I have a dream, yes I do, for the rich and poor man. I have a dream.
When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles,
Black men
Protestants and
white
Catholics will be
men,
able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual.
Christians,
Free at last,
I
free at
have a
last.
dream,
Thank God
yes, I
Almighty, we are free at
do.
last.
Oh,
My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Gotta get in the weight room. Dr. Powery, welcome. I can tell, you can tell, we can all tell what a special place the DCRI is. It's my honor to introduce Reverend Dr. Luke A. Powery. Prior to his appointment at Duke, Dr. Powery served as the Perry and Georgia Engel Assistant Professor of Homiletics at Princeton Theological Seminary, received his BA in music with a concentration in vocal performance from Stanford University. His Master of Divinity from Princeton Theological Seminary and his doctorate from Emmanuel College at the University of Toronto. His teaching and research interests are located at the intersection of preaching, worship, pneumatology, and culture, particularly expressions of the African diaspora. He has written 2 books titled Spirit Speech, Lament and Celebration in Preaching, and Dem Dry Bones, Preaching, Death, and Hope, and is currently working on a co-authored introductory textbook on preaching, Ways of the World, Learning to Preach for Your Time and Place, as well as 2 devotional books of meditations on the spirituals for the liturgical seasons of Advent and Lent. Powery was ordained by the Progressive National Baptist Convention and has served in an ecumenical capacity in churches throughout Switzerland, Canada, and the United States. He's a member of the Academy of Homiletics, for which he has served as secretary, the American Academy of Religion, and the Society for the Study of Black Religion. He served as member of the executive lectionary team for the African American Lectionary and is recipient of numerous scholastic fellowships and awards. In 2008, the African American Pulpit named him one of 20 outstanding black ministers under the age of 40 who are helping shape the future direction of the church. More recently, in 2014, he was inducted into the Martin Luther King Jr. Collegium of Scholars at Morehouse College for his ethical and spiritual leadership in the academy, church, and broader society. He is married to Gail Powery, and the couple has 2 children. It's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Powery, our speaker for this very special day at the DCRI. Dr. Powery.
Thank you. It is a pleasure and honor to be here with you to share for a few moments on the topic, the Dreamer King. Many of you know that Dr. King was the son of a minister himself. Daddy King Sr. was a minister, and his mother was a musician. Dr. King's mother was a musician, an organist who fatally was assassinated playing the organ at Ebenezer Baptist Church. But we hear the influence of music in his life and his speech and his sermons and his other forms of rhetoric. But we also know, as many have said, that music was the soul, in many ways, of the civil rights movement. And particularly the spirituals you hear that are reworked during the civil rights movement. And for Dr. King, one of, or if not, his favorite hymn was Precious Lord, Take My Hand, And that was a hymn that was sung at his own funeral. And so before I begin formally in honor of Dr. King and his life, I would like to just offer a line from that hymn, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, as we begin. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn through the storms, through the night. Lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. Thank you. Now we can, let me pick this up. Pick this microphone up. Now we can really begin. I do this today in honor of Dr. King, in honor of what the spirituals say, of the many thousand gone. What James Weldon Johnson said in his poem, O Black and Unknown Bards, of those of that long, long line of those who were forgotten, who were unknown, unnamed, unfamed, but yet they still teach us. Those songs, the spirituals still travel all over the world. And so music has been important in the history of African Americans. And so I remember, this is an acting of memory today. I'll start with the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, who was really one of the first people I met in my chapel, in my office at Duke Chapel. In late August, she was slated to give the undergraduate talk she did for many years, the convocation which happened in Duke Chapel. And I lift her words, a portion from her poem, Still I Rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. My colleague at Duke Divinity School, Professor Rick Lisher, wrote what is now a classic book titled The Preacher King. And today I would like to briefly speak about the Dreamer King. Now that he is safely dead, let us praise him, build monuments to his glory, sing hosannas to his name. Dead men make such convenient heroes. They cannot rise to challenge the images we would fashion from their lives. And besides, it is easier to build monuments than to make a better world. So, now that he is safely dead, we, with eased consciences, will teach our children that he was a great man, knowing that the cause for which he died is still a dream, a dead man's dream. This poet paints a pretty pessimistic picture of our present predicament. One might assume that the dream is buried with the body of Dr. King and has received the same benediction, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. But every time a child is born, a dream is born, and the world once again is threatened with resurrection, life. This is not to suggest that Dr. King's dream has been fulfilled. It may, as the poet writes, be safely dead with him. Or to use the words of Harlem Renaissance poet Langston Hughes, perhaps the dream has just been dried up like a raisin in the sun. Or perhaps there is a chasm between the inception of the dream in the mind and heart and the actual reception of it in the world. In his 1964 Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, Dr. King says, "In spite of the spectacular strides in science and technology, and still unlimited ones to come, something basic is missing. There is a sort of poverty of the spirit which stands in glaring contrast to our scientific and technological abundance. The richer we have become materially, the poorer we have become morally and spiritually. We have learned to fly in the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers." He continues to say, "We have allowed the means by which we live to outdistance the ends for which we live." That is, the dazzling progress of science and technology, and even the revitalization of the city of Durham, does not necessarily lead to the sparkling of the human spirit, because the dream may be dried up. Stanford University historian, King scholar, and director of the King Research and Education Institute, Claiborne Carson, was asked in an interview, "Knowing King's work as intimately as you do, Dr. Carson, what messages do you think he would want to impress upon Americans today?" And Carson replied, he would want people to know that his dream was still unfulfilled at the end of his life and remains unrealized even now. He would be a persistent critic of any nation and any president that tolerated extensive poverty and continued to waste precious human and material resources on war. Dreams, unfulfilled and unrealized, perhaps dried up like a raisin in the sun. Dr. King did not only proclaim, "I have a dream," in his August 1963 speech at the March on Washington, D.C. for Jobs and Freedom, but he spoke of other dreams throughout his life. In 1961, a commencement address at Lincoln University, Dr. King speaks about the American dream. And he says, "America is essentially a dream as yet unfulfilled. It is an unfulfilled dream because, as he says, if America is to remain a first-class nation, she can no longer have second-class citizens. Dreamers know that some dreams will be unfulfilled in their lifetime or even shattered. The Dreamer King was no different as he preached sermons titled Unfulfilled Dreams and Shattered Dreams. He believed those kind of dreams were hallmarks of our mortal life. He knew disappointments and unmet expectations. He recognized that life is like Franz Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. Dr. King was honest, and he believed that few of us live to see our fondest hopes fulfilled. Remember what he said in what became his final speech in Memphis, Tennessee? "I've been to the mountaintop, and God's allowed me to go up to the mountaintop, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. I may not get there with you. He recognized that all dreams do not come true in one's lifetime. But that didn't stop him from dreaming. Despite his truthfulness about dreams and their realization, he still had the courage to dream and take the risk to dream, knowing that not all dreams come true and knowing that dreaming can even be dangerous. Dreaming can get you into trouble. There's a Bible story about a teenager named Joseph who gets into trouble because he's a dreamer. His older brothers hate him because he's a dreamer, and they throw him into a pit and sell him into slavery because they can't handle his dreams. His dream is their nightmare. Joseph's brothers hate him because their father loved him more than them, but we are also told they hated him even more because of his dreams and his words. Not everyone can handle our dreams. Joseph's dreams get him into trouble, and he doesn't even taunt them and say, "That's all right, that's okay, you will work for me one day." He just dreams, and his dreams make them want to destroy him. We shall see what will become of his dreams. That's what his brothers say. They want to make Joseph's dream a living nightmare for him and deny Joseph the fulfillment of his dreams by destroying him, and by doing so, deny the power of the dream. They want Joseph and his dreams, like King, safely dead. Everyone can't handle our dreams. That might be the case because we dream what experts on the science of dreams call the big dream. Our dreams may be too big or too dangerous. Dangerous because dreams disrupt the way things are. Imagining the oughtness of life, transcending the isness of reality. Dangerous because dreams may threaten the status quo, the normal order of life, envisioning a new order and a new way. Dangerous because dreaming might get you into trouble. It may land you in a pit or in a Birmingham jail. On April 16, 1963, the same year as his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King wrote what is now called the Letter from Birmingham Jail. His letter was written in response to 8 clergymen. This letter was begun on the margins of a newspaper in which the statement from the clergymen appeared. The letter was then continued on scraps of writing paper supplied by someone and then concluded on a pad his attorneys were eventually allowed to leave with him. These clergymen questioned King's approach and thought his activities were unwise and untimely and believed he should just wait for things to change. But King knew that wait many times just meant never. King was desperate to respond. He was such a dreamer. And so he started his letter on the margins of a newspaper. Not even a jail cell could stop his dream. He writes to these church leaders by saying such things as injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. He affirms his nonviolent campaign as a way to help people rise from the dark depths of prejudice and racism to the majestic heights of understanding and brotherhood, and as a means toward freedom, because freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. This letter from prison critiqued the appalling silence of the good people, not the hateful words and actions of the bad people. He critiques the church that has been lax and been more cautious than courageous and have remained silent behind the anesthetizing security of stained glass windows. Dreams can be dangerous and so determined that even margins of a newspaper will suffice to bring them to expression. Some dreams will never die, and dreamers put their life in danger because others may attempt to kill the dream.
Dr. King was a dreamer who put his life at risk and was killed because of his dream. He dreamed a world that disrupted and disturbed the way life was, the status quo in society. His dream was rooted in the American dream, that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, that all are created equal. So in 1963, the same year, Duke University was desegregated at the undergraduate level. Before the Lincoln Memorial, Dr. King dreamed, "I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places shall be made plain, and the crooked places shall be made straight, and the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together." This is a dream that still plays on the iPod of this country's historical memory. But not everyone understood that dream. Not everyone understands that dream. Not everyone understands dreams. Not everyone can handle dreams. Not everyone wants our dreams to come true. Dr. King's dream leads to his death, and there are all kinds of conspiracy theories about that. Dreaming can be dangerous, and dreams can be unfulfilled in our lifetime. Because as King says, always our reach exceeds our grasp. So why do we dream? Why should we dream? We dream because to dream is to live, and not to dream is to die. A spiritual mentor for King, Howard Thurman, a friend and college classmate of King Sr. and former dean of the chapels at Howard and Boston Universities, put it this way: "We cannot continue long to live if the dream in the heart has perished. It is then that we stop hoping, stop looking, and the last embers of our anticipations fade away. The dream in the heart is the outlet. It is one with living water welling up from the very springs of being, nourishing and sustaining all of life. Where there is no dream, the life becomes a swamp, a dreary dead place, and deep within, our heart begins to rot. The dream is the ever-recurring melody in the midst of broken harmony and harsh discords of human conflict. It lives in the inward parts. It is deep within. For as long as a person has a dream in his heart, he cannot lose the significance of living." Thurman encourages us to keep alive the dream, because to dream is to live, and not to dream is to die. Poet Langston Hughes urges us hold fast to dreams. For if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Even an article in the Harvard Business Review urges us how to have a year that counts. And it says, start with your dreams, not your goals, or your plans, or your objectives, but your dreams. The unthinkable, the impossible, the risky, the dangerous. because our dreams infuse us and sing to us of who we may become, because we are always becoming. Take a journal and write the vision. Take a newspaper and write on the margins. Are there any dreamers in Durham at the Duke Clinical Research Institute? It can be dangerous. You may have to risk your life or risk the way life is by dreaming. But to dream is to live, and not to dream is to die and rot away. To dream, to imagine beyond what we see or experience, how the world ought to be, how North Carolina and Durham and Duke in particular should be. Is anyone dreaming in 2016? Not daydreaming right now. Dreaming beyond moral Mondays to moral Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. Because every day is a moral day. Every day we make ethical decisions. Every day is a day of seeking justice. Every day is an opportunity to love. Every day is a day we can dream. To dream that there will no longer be racial discrimination and exclusion and profiling in this nation, that finally we would not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. To dream of economic justice and equality in a time when there will no longer be unjust structures and systems that keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Remember, Dr. King died while fighting on behalf of sanitation workers in Memphis, Tennessee, as part of the Poor People's Campaign. And he proclaimed, on the one hand, we are called to play the Good Samaritan on life's roadside. But that will be only an initial act. One day, we must come to see that the whole Jericho Road must be transformed, so that men and women will not be constantly beaten and robbed as they make their journey on life's highway. True compassion is more than flinging a coin to a beggar. It is not haphazard and superficial. It comes to see that an edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring. Is anyone dreaming? To dream of a world and city of nonviolence, where we no longer make guns gods, and where school shootings will cease, and we'll study war no more as we beat our swords into plowshares. Remember, Dr. King called for peace and an end to the Vietnam War. To dream, to see no child left behind, receiving a good education with good resources in one of the wealthiest nations in the world. To dream that we will finally grasp that notion that every human being is a child of God and has dignity and worth, and that we live in an interconnected web of mutuality in which our destinies are tied together, such that I cannot be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be, and you cannot be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. To dream of love, driving out every form of hatred and fear from the hearts of humanity. To dream today, because of the fierce urgency of now. I have a dream, and I hope you have a dream too. Though dreams are not always welcomed because they are dangerous. Every family won't accept a dreamer in their midst. Every church or club won't accept dreamers as members. Every institution won't hire dreamers as employees. But if you aren't dreaming, you're dead. So dream on in honor of the Dreamer King. My mother was and is a dreamer. And throughout her life, she has dreamed a dream of fish. It may sound silly at first, And there definitely isn't any in-depth medical research support for this. But don't underestimate a dream, because most of the time that dream of fish means someone in the family is pregnant. And it comes true. Some of you know what I'm talking about, I see. Dreams can come true. But do you feed despair, or do you feed the dream to keep it alive? A grandfather was talking to his grandson about his feelings. And he said, I feel as if I have two wolves fighting in my heart. One wolf is vengeful, angry, and violent, and the other wolf is loving and compassionate. The grandson asked him, which wolf will win the fight in your heart? And the grandfather answered, the one I feed. What do we feed in our hearts? Anger and fear, or the dream of unconditional love? The dream of a beloved community and a new life and new way of being with each other in the world? That dream, not blue states or red states, but a dream of a new day for these United States of America. Not Democrats or Republicans or independents, not Tar Heel blue or Duke blue, but a dream that is not safely dead in the heart for a new nation where all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Catholics and Protestants, will be able to finally join hands and sing, My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountain side. Let freedom ring. Let freedom sing. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. I am the dream and the hope of a slave. Dream on. Thank you.
Thank you for making this day very special for all of us at the DCRI. Thank you for challenging the DCRI. Everybody feel challenged? I was going to close with a quote from a poet that I studied a long time ago, Edwin Markham. He said, "There's a destiny that makes us brothers. None goes his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back onto our own." Thank you very much to Gina. Thank you very much to our musicians. Thank you very much, Dr. Powery, for making this a special day as a tribute to a dreamer. And thank you for the preparation and pride that each and every one of us can walk out the door with today in thinking about what we can do to make the DCRI, to make Durham, to make Duke University, to make the country a better place in tribute to Dr. King. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.